Good afternoon or good morning. This is Bob with County Records Research, and welcome to our Wednesday webinar. It's April 12th. This year is going by quickly, isn't it? So it's April 12th, 2017 at about 11:45 in the morning. I just activated the visual portion of our presentation, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Our Wednesday presentations are focused on giving you an overview of the website itself, the features and functions of your account, and some general information about County Records Research. Whoops, let me go ahead and close that out. Now, you should see the main portion of our screen. It's a little abbreviated because I do have to have a control bar on the right, so I have limited my, my visual portion of the screen to what you see here. Now, on top, we've got our logo, countyrecordsresearch.com, and we've got our 800 number here at the top as well. And then up at the upper right-hand corner, notice that we have our button to join us for the online chat. Whenever you see that the chat live support button has a green light here and online, that means that we have an operator standing by to help you with any active real-time questions, and we usually have someone available to help you from 9 in the morning till approximately 6 in the evening to answer questions and give you guidance so that you can do your research and continue to find solutions to any questions that you need answers to. Now, below that we have our image that shows the 5 states that we provide information on: Washington, Oregon, California, that's the West Coast, and then also Nevada and Arizona. So these are the 5 states that we cover. You can subscribe to any of the zones or counties in these states, or you can subscribe to the entire package. Now, if you're not sure what you like, then we recommend you try one of our 5-day trial options, or if you've joined us through a meeting group, then you might have a special promotional code that you've received from that particular group or club, and we recommend that you take advantage of whatever promotion that's been provided to get your free access to start using the site, learn more about how we help you, and then of course jump right in and hopefully buy some property as quickly as you can. Now, also notice that underneath the 800 number we have some header buttons for different categories. So on the far right is foreclosure processing. To be clear, County Records Research has a variety of functions as a company. We don't just provide the foreclosure data for investors, we also provide foreclosure processing services for investors who want to use our data to acquire properties through purchasing notes and then have us process the foreclosure on the note so that they can acquire the property through the process of the auction. If you have any friends or clients who own notes on properties that they themselves carry, then we can also provide foreclosure processing in the event that the note is not being paid according to the terms of the agreement. Foreclosures happen because a loan on a property has not been paid according to the terms on the note, and every note in California also has a deed of trust linking it to the property itself that gives us the opportunity as a processor to actually foreclose against the property itself because of that deed of trust, to demand payment against the note that locks it together. Now, if you don't have a deed of trust, then a foreclosure cannot happen. It must have both aspects of that loan that's tied to the real estate. Remember, the note defines the loan and how it should be paid back. The deed of trust connects it to the land and therefore allows a foreclosure to happen so that the owner of the loan can therefore demand payment or take the property in its stead. So foreclosure processing gives you a lot of information. Each of these individual headers gives you access to the trustee timeline, a group of forms, a glossary with definitions, and of course the ability to contact us and get your questions answered. Now, to the left of that is our pricing button. If you want to learn more about pricing, our pricing system is very simple. We simply charge based on 1, 2, or multiple zones on the website. So if you're not sure how many zones you want, click on the pricing button and learn more about that. And then if you have questions, give us a call at the 800 line and we'll answer all your questions for you. To the left of that is our free trial button. You'll notice that we offer the free trial in a variety of spots on the website. If you're not a subscriber yet, there's a reason we do that. The free trial is a way to show you what we already know, and that's that we're the best service to provide you the data and the support necessary to use the data, and we want to give you that free trial option so you can learn more about how we help you buy properties. Now, to the left of that is our login option. I'm going to show you that in a little bit, but I want to show you more information that's available to you as a subscriber to the service. So I'm going to scroll down the page. And notice that at the bottom of the page we have a number of phrases that encompass different resources that we provided for our clients to use the data and learn more about it. So again, here's our foreclosure processing section. That is a big part of our business, so we do want to make sure at the top of the page and the bottom of the page you have access to that information. To the left of that is our training and support section. Now, this includes our Foreclosure 101 overview. I'm just going to click on that and open up that section. This is an article that we drafted some years back that really gives you a nice walkthrough of how foreclosures work and how we buy properties. So if you haven't read the Foreclosure 101 article, you'll notice it's fairly lengthy, and that's for a reason, because we want to give you specific tips on how to use the information, how foreclosures work, so you get a very good overall understanding. So when we talk about certain things, it makes sense. Okay. Below that, Foreclosures 101 is industry terms and definitions. This is a simple glossary that we've taken that includes a lot of the main terms that you're going to come across in our explanations. So we want to make it available to you 24/7 so that if you have a word that or a phrase that you come across that you're not familiar with, you can jump right to our industry terms and definitions and look that phrase or term up and have a better idea of what we're talking about. Again, our focus is instructing you on everything you need to know so that you can use the data more effectively. Below industry terms and definitions is our free resources button. This is a resources and links page that gives you links to various other websites for law firms, for other foreclosure-related websites, and for insurance companies, and a variety of other things. If you scroll through the site and you find that there's something else you'd like to see here on this page, let us know by email, and we'll be happy to look into adding additional links onto this section. It's grown over the years. We do recommend that you look at Flipper Connection if you wanted to have an online resource like a club to meet like-minded people. Foreclosure Forum is a great site. If you just want to, I've got a little bit of sound there, so I am going to need to go ahead and hit mute. If anybody has questions, do feel free to go ahead and type in questions using the chat window. I am happy to answer any questions there, but I do need to kind of keep the background noise a little bit under control. So now you'll also see that there are clubs here, and even references to the MERS system and PACER, which is another site that you can go to if you were specifically interested in bankruptcy-related files. Now, Foreclosure Forum, as I was going to point out, is a great source of articles. The gentleman who runs that is Ward Hannigan. He does a lot of seminars in the area, and I'll tell you, Ward is a wealth of knowledge like Kurt is, but he has his own focuses, and he especially is a very good resource if you want to learn about putting together a trust or a landholding trust, or if you just simply want to go and read some of his articles and learn from his experience like you can learn from Kurt's. Definitely recommend that you use that as a resource. There are some very good knowledgeable articles that he's put together. He also provides some one-on-one training for people that want to learn how to do research as well, so he's a good guy. Now I'm going to scroll further down the page. Now below our free resources and links is a video training option, and this is a sample of one of Kurt's live trainings that he's done, and it's a little dated because he uses the whiteboard, but I can tell you the information is all valid and still it applies, so it's always a good thing to watch one of Kurt's trainings and learn more. Below that is our how to use the website button, and this is a series of small screen capture videos that we put together that cover some of the information that I'm going to go over here in the next few minutes. Okay, so that's how to use the site. Now, going further to the left, we have another group of links that you can go to. Our affiliate login page is a really good source for anyone who has a club out there that has yet to partner with us. If you have a club or you're an entrepreneur and you want to promote County Records Research, affiliate our affiliate sign-up page is a great way to get started with that. You can contact us further if you want to find out more about partnering with County Records Research, but the affiliate login was specifically designed for local clubs that want to set up their own promotional code to encourage members to join the service, and for the club itself to actually generate revenue from those members joining the service. So if you are part of a club that hasn't yet had Kurt speak at your event and you'd like him to do so, go ahead and get set up as an affiliate and invite us to come and speak at your club. We'd love to do it. Below that is our trustee sale bidding service login option, and that's for anybody that wants to place bids at the Los Angeles County auctions by using our bidder. Our bidding service has been in place for a number of years, and we are very effective at buying properties for you at the auction. All you need to do is set up your bidding service account as a companion to your main account. Once you've done that, which it's free to do, to set up the bidding service account, it's absolutely free. Then if you want to place bids at the LA County auction, then you just provide us with cashier's checks and a power of attorney, and then place bids through the website, where you simply tell us the most you're willing to spend on a property. The beauty of this service is this: if the price at auction is greater than you're willing to pay, you simply don't buy the property and there's no fee whatsoever. If the price at auction comes below your target price, then we're there to bid a penny over the opening bid. If we get the property for you, it's your deal, it's your property. Now, if we do buy you a property, we do charge a flat fee. It's very reasonable, a flat rate of $2,900 at the success of a purchase. And we don't bill that out of your cashier's checks. We send you a separate invoice for it so you can fully keep track of it, and so you know that every dollar that you give us to bid for you is to be used at the auction if we can get you the deal you're looking for. So look into it if you want to bid at auction. It's a great way to buy 5 days a week at the auction in Los Angeles County without having to be there, and you can give us as many bids as you want. Once we've used your cashier's checks to buy you a property, you can either say, I'm done, and get your other checks back, or give us additional checks and buy more properties. Clients who've taken advantage of that second option have bought a number of properties, sometimes one a week, by simply giving us a continuing group of cashier's checks to back up their bids. Now, below that is my property search option. Just as a note, we have to be logged into our account to access property search or the forms page. The forms page is a group of different offer forms, different forms that we might use during the process of purchasing notes or gaining access to properties with 24-hour notice. So just note that property search and forms are only available to subscribers that have an account. So we're not going to look at those at the moment because I haven't logged in. Now, below property search is our frequently asked questions page. This is similar to our glossary, and this is a lot of phrases that you might have or questions you might have, and we just decided to give you a written answer to that question. Again, this is available 24/7 because obviously if you need answers, you need answers, okay? So this is our frequently asked questions page, and we've given you an actual written answer. Okay, below that and below forms is our testimonials. If you go to that, you just see what some people have had to say about County Records Research. I can tell you this: we've helped a lot of people buy properties. We've gotten a few testimonials. A lot of folks are kind of closed-mouthed about this secret that they've discovered called County Records Research. So you will see some nice, glorious testimonials on this page, but there are going to be a lot more people out there that have yet to give us one because they don't want to brag about us. They want to keep this secret close to the vest. I bet if you get a great deal with us too, you're going to feel the same way. But don't be afraid to tell other people about us, because a lot of people have come to us through word of mouth, and we encourage people to tell others about us if you want a friend or family member to get the same kind of a deal you got. Now, below the testimonials page is our sign-ups to find out about trustee sale field trips, our foreclosure basics tutorial emails, or our email notification option. These are all free sign-ups that you can go to if you want to get emails with more information from County Records Research. You don't have to be a subscriber to use these options, and if you just want to keep up on what's going on, whether you have an account or not, we do recommend that you sign up for any of these or all three. Okay, next on the far left-hand side of the page, there are a few different phrases here, about us, our privacy policy, you know, basic website stuff. Now, the calendar of upcoming events is the section of the page that I really like, so I just clicked on it. This is our calendar of events, and it's broken into 3 separate sections. So first of all, you have our Trustee Sale field trips. These are the live training events. Notice that whenever we schedule a field trip, these are going to be daytime events. And the reason for that is that we're scheduling them in conjunction with the actual foreclosure auctions. So notice we've got a foreclosure auction that's taking place on April 27th. That's a Thursday at the end of this month. Kurt's going to actually be out in Las Vegas. This is a special event, and this is in conjunction with the live evening, actually a later daytime event that is actually with a note symposium. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll all the way down to show you whenever we're invited to do an event, Kurt likes to do a field trip in conjunction with that same event. So in this case, Kurt was invited to do the Paper Source Note Symposium in Las Vegas that's going on April 27th through the 29th. It's a weekend event with a lot of different speakers. Now, Kurt himself is going to be the keynote speaker. He'll be speaking at 1 o'clock from 1 to 2 at the symposium on the same day, April 27th, that he's going to do this field trip up on top. So the field trip is our event. You're welcome to attend that free of charge. If you need to join the symposium, then just be aware that that is someone else's event and Kurt is a guest speaker. If you want to learn more about it, all the information is here, and you can click on the links and you can find out more about it. They do charge a fee to register. And if you register ahead of time using the coupon code for County Records Research, you can save yourself $50 from the regular price to attend the event. Remember, it is several days, and that you do need to make sure that you have a place to stay if you are going to attend the multi-day event. Now, we're going to be conducting our trainings in the morning on the 27th, which is again a Thursday, and that afternoon at lunchtime, Kurt will be doing the keynote presentation. Now, below that, we have scheduled for May 3rd an event where we're going to be speaking here in Orange County in Southern California at 700 Civic Center Drive in Santa Ana. This is in the city of Santa Ana. Now notice the time. That's set up for 12 noon because the auctions there are going to be happening at about 12:30. Now, the Las Vegas event is set for 9:30 because the auctions start around 10 o'clock. The Santa Ana event is set for 12 noon because the auctions start around 12:30. We always try and schedule our field trips about a half hour before the auctions should begin for you to get time to park, get yourself settled, hook up with Kurt, and then be ready to observe the actual auctions take place. So notice, field trips on top, always during the day, and always scheduled to begin a half an hour before the scheduled auctions. And then at the bottom, whatever engagements Kurt's been invited to speak at for third-party events. So the Paper Source Note Symposium in Las Vegas, as I said, is Thursday during the day. He'll be speaking around lunchtime. Now, below this, you'll see that Kurt has an Orange County event. Again, in conjunction with the field trip, he's got this event that he was invited to speak to in Orange County at about 7 o'clock. He'll be speaking on May 6th. So May 6th, he'll be speaking and so he'll be speaking then, and then that'll start at around 7 and go to around 9 o'clock. Okay, so now the information, if you want to find out more about it, you can click on the event here where it says OCFIBI. Click on that to find out more information, confirm the date and the location, and then you can actually, I believe, set a reservation to attend the event. And now the location is at the Hilton Irvine in Orange County, right by the airport. And you can click on this link to open up a map to see where it's going to be. So this is all of on our events page. Okay, and while I'm down at this bottom section, let me also point out we have a couple more links here. One to find other investment clubs. So if you want to find investment clubs, see how what this border with the white lettering. We've got our Seminar Highlight podcast. This is a series of audio recordings, and then we've got Q&A with Kurt. This is similar to our frequently asked questions, but this is a series of small videos where Kurt can answer your questions. And then finally, as I scroll back up, I just want to point out that the middle section is going to be our GoToMeeting website demonstrations like we're doing right now. So every Wednesday and every Friday, we do one of these live presentations from 11:45 in the morning to 12:45 in the afternoon. Today is a Wednesday presentation, so that's why we're doing this overview and describing the site. We do like to make sure that you have an overview of the navigation of the site, and then we go in to demonstrate some of the features and benefits of your account. And you'll notice that Wednesday is this type of a training. Friday, we jump right in and we do some specific research. Now, because we've had a number of people join our site over the last week, because Kurt just did a live presentation down in San Diego, I am going to be focusing this Friday on properties that are scheduled for auction in El Cajon, which covers San Diego County. So for those of you that have joined us recently because you came to us through the San Diego Investment Club, we want to say welcome and thank you. And we want to encourage you to jump into the website and take advantage of your promotional period to test out our data. We also want to encourage you to view our webinars live like we are right now, or go to our YouTube channel at County Records Research on YouTube, and you can get there by clicking here where it says click here to view previous demonstrations. If I just click that, that launches me right to the County Records Research YouTube channel, and it started playing one of our previous demonstrations. If I then click on the County Records Research channel header, then that'll take me to our County Records Research channel, and you'll see a lot of different videos that we have recorded in the system on YouTube so that you can view previous webinars, and you can also see events that Kurt recorded onto the YouTube channel, so you can learn more about using our data and get a lot of questions answered without having to wait to talk to somebody, especially if it's on the weekend or in the evening and you just want to learn more about the process of buying properties and doing research. Take advantage of our YouTube channel. It's very helpful, and it will answer a lot of questions for you so that you can focus your time more accurately on doing what you want to do. That being said, I'm going to close this out. We're going to go back to the top of our page, and I'm going to go ahead and hit my home page option, and I'm back at my home page. This is what you're going to see whenever you first come onto the site, and now we're going to just go in and act as if we just got onto the site and we want to start taking advantage of the data. So I'm going to hit my login option, and this is my register now page, or my login or register now option. If I didn't have an account, I could hit register now and set up my account, but I do. So I'm going to type in my username and my password, and then I'm going to go ahead and type in this funny little group of characters here. If you can't make it out, you can always go ahead and hit change image to get a different image if you can't read it. It looks like I got it right, so I'm going to hit submit and see if I did. And I did. So it says welcome. So notice big welcome on top, and then welcome Bob Baker. So I'm in my account. Now that I've logged into my account, notice the login option is missing from the top. Instead, now it says property search, because now I'm logged into my account. So now I can select property search. But remember what I said earlier, I can also now select forms. So I'm just going to click on my forms option. This is my forms page. So notice this, we've got 35 different records in here. Every one of these is a form that I can click on and open up. So I got a power of attorney, ways to hold title, I've got a 3-day notice to quit a property, property use codes, that's a whole list, an example of a reverse mortgage in case you want to learn more about those, a cover letter to offer to buy an REO. Now, the most important records here in this system are item number 22. This is a real estate purchase contract and deposit receipt letter size. This is a 2-page form to print to write offers on properties from you to the property owner or to a lender if you want to buy a property that's an REO. So number 22 is the simple offer form to buy a property. Now, item 23 is that same form in PDF format where we've actually combined it with a record from the system, and Kurt's filled out the form to write up an offer. So item number 23 is a sample of an offer form completed with a profile of a property, so you know why Kurt filled it out the way he did. Item 22 is your blank offer form. Use this form to write offers. First of all, print it out and then make some copies so you can practice. Look at item 23 to practice and get an idea of why he filled it out the way he did. And then if you need more help, then just give us a call at the 800 number, and we're glad to help you and coach you through the process. You'll notice there are a lot more forms here. And as you have needs, call us up. We'll talk to you about the different things. 24-hour notice to enter a premises. Kurt's 5 ways to buy real estate if you just want to refresh on his 5 ways to buy. And a variety of other documents are here, including an offer of cash for keys. So there's different things you might need in here. There are a lot of records you might never use, but it's up to you. Get in here and look at any of the forms and see what you can do with them, and let us know if you have questions or need help. Now, that being said, I'm going to go back to my property search option by selecting property search up on top. And here I am at my property search page. Now, once I'm in my account, I can jump right to property search, which is what I normally do. Okay, and then also notice that to the left or to the right of property search is my account. Now, this is what we go to if we want to access information that we've already saved, including saved properties and saved searches, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that in just a moment. But before we do, I'm going to select the option to manage folders because I want to check one thing. I want to see if I have a San Diego folder already. And look, I do have a San Diego folder right here. So let's say that I wanted to add to that. Maybe San Diego is fine, but I want to make also an El Cajon auction folder, because I could have a San Diego folder for properties that I'm tracking to do offers to homeowners, but I might also have a separate folder if I'm planning to bid at auction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an El Cajon auction folder, because I'm fairly certain I don't have one. Now, if I go up and look up here, notice these are all alphabetical. Let me also point out that when you first enter your account in the system, you're not going to have a bunch of folders like this at all. You're going to have a general folder, which is not shown here, and then you're going to have this little button right here for adding folders and a delete button, and you're going to have this little window where I just typed in El Cajon auction. This will be all the way up on top, and you won't have any of these other records, because I've added all these folders over the years. First lender buyouts, second lender buyouts, different cities, Bob's houses, that's my special folder for houses I'm interested in. Downey, which is in LA County, Fountain Valley, which is again my neck of the woods. Indio, my hometown where I spent my high school years, so I like that area just to kind of keep tabs on what's going on in my hometown. So Palm Springs, Palos Verdes, these are all different folders that I set up looking in very specific areas. There's even one for Monterey, which is a little pet area that I like to look at too. So now, once I've created a folder for El Cajon auction and I hit add folder, notice what the system just did. It just plugged El Cajon auction alphabetically where it goes, right in between Downey and Fountain Valley, because it's an E. So now I've got my El Cajon auction folder. Now we've got other buttons here we're going to look at in just a few minutes, but right now I'm going to go back to my property search screen. So I'm back at my property search screen, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select a county, and because we talked about San Diego, I'm going to select San Diego County. Notice I'm checking the box to the right of San Diego County. Notice San Diego County is now highlighted in blue. Also notice if I put my cursor over the San Diego County name, I get a little window opens up with kind of a yellow colorish, beige colorish, that gives me a bunch of cities: Carlsbad, Chula Vista, Coronado, Del Mar, etc. These are all San Diego County cities. Now, if I scroll further down, here's my single property search option. This is my favorite part of the site, and we demonstrate this on Friday, because this is part of your secondary research. Once you've isolated a property you're interested in, you use the single property search to do additional research on that property. This is also a great tool if you're tracking a property that you've lost track of and you want to re-ground yourself to what's going on with that particular address. Now, if I have a house on 123 Main Street, I normally will type in 123 in this box and hit search, or I would type Main in the second box, or if I have a parcel number, I'll put the parcel number in the third box. But I do not use every box. I use 1, 2, or 3. I only use one box at a time in the single property search, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you with parcel numbers on Friday. You're going to get a kick out of that, because this is how we find out if that property has multiple records in the system, because that always helps us, especially if we plan to buy at auction, to know if there are multiple records in the system. Now, when I go below the single search, this is our general property search screen. Now I want to point out this is in two sections. This is our category section, where we have under choose one, we have 7 options. Now, the most commonly used options are notice as a default, which has already been chosen for us, upcoming sales, and drop bid report. Okay, notice a default is the first category. These are properties where the notice of default has just been issued. Some people refer to this as pre-foreclosure, but that's a misnomer. If a notice of default has been issued, the property is in default. It is in foreclosure. Now, the notice of default precedes a notice of trustee's sale by approximately 3 months. Now, that's a minimum. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it could be over a year. The lender has to wait at least 3 months, though, before they can issue the sale notice scheduling an auction. So whenever we look at a notice of default record, we need to search by a category of dates. And we use a category we call our listed or added date to the system. So whenever I pick notice of default, the system is going to give me a date range of 2 weeks, starting from 2 weeks in the past and ending in today's date. So notice, with notices of default, we're looking backwards. We're looking in the rear view mirror based on the date we added the property to our system. Okay, now if I choose upcoming sales instead, I click on the little circle here. Notice what just happened. The upcoming sales allows me to search by auction dates instead. And notice that the auction dates are no longer looking backwards, they're looking forward. That's because the assumption is that we want to buy properties at the auction. So if I'm planning to buy at the auction next week, then of course I'm going to look forward. So let me also show you the difference in how these different formats look once I've put a search together. So let's say that I want to buy properties at the El Cajon auction, so I'm going to change one thing. I've got my auction dates looking forward from 4/12 to 4/26, but notice I've got all these other boxes. Now let me emphasize very importantly to you, just because you have a bunch of empty boxes here doesn't mean you need to fill them all in. I recommend that you don't. Okay, and the reason I'm saying that is the more boxes we fill in, the more criteria we're adding to our search. So if I add a whole bunch of criteria to my search, then in order for the property to come up in my search results, it's got to match all those criteria. So the fewer criteria I set, the more properties I'm going to get in my search results. So I don't want to specify only 3-bedroom and 2-bath, because then any 4 bedrooms will not come on the report. Likewise, no 2 bedrooms would come on the report either. I don't want to specify a specific city unless I have to. Now, that being said, if you're working for a client or if you have a specific target in mind, then by all means use that specific terminology to match that function. If I only want to buy properties that are in the city of El Cajon, then I would put El Cajon in this box here. Now notice, once I put my city name in that box, the blue check mark becomes highlighted. If I want to get rid of that city, I can click the check mark and erase it. So I can add up to 3 cities this way, or I can add up to 3 zip codes in the boxes below. Notice it's 1 zip code, or one city per box, and it's either or. So we emphasize, you do 3 cities if you want, or 3 zip codes, or just 1 city or 1 zip code. But that's your limitation. Only put 1 city or 1 zip code per box. So if I don't have to put that limitation in my search, I'm not going to do so, because I want to have as many opportunities to get the deal as possible. So with my date range of auction dates of 4/12 to 4/26, I can do a search right away, or I can limit my search by date to a very specific time. Let's say, for instance, I'm very interested in going to the auction. Today is Wednesday. Let's say I want to go to the auction on Friday. So let's say that I want to change this date, the 12th, to Friday, the 14th. Okay, but let's say that I want to also change the second date here to the 14th as well. So what I've just done is I've taken a 2-week search range and I've cut it back to a single day this coming Friday, so I can be prepared to go to the auction. Now let us also say that I want to bid at one auction location, and I want to look for deals that are going to sale on Friday only at that location. So notice below the dates by about 2 inches here, I've got a box that says sale location, and I'm going to select the El Cajon auction location. Those of you that joined Kurt at the field trip presentation will remember this location. The reason I'm picking this location is that way I know if I'm making plans to get my cashier's checks together and go to the auction on Friday, that I have the location in mind, the date in mind, and then I'm going to see what properties are set to go to auction on that day. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit. Now notice I've got 2 different buttons I can hit for my search. I've got a search without polygon button, and I've got a search polygon button. Notice also if I scroll further down, there's a map. Now this map goes with the polygon button because it's a polygon map. What we do is we can design a specific geographical area defined by making lines to enclose a target area. We're going to show you that in just a moment when we switch back to notice as a default. But again, I want to focus for the moment on properties going to auction on Friday. So I'm going to hit search without polygon and see what we get. Now, what just happened is I hit the search without polygon button. For the purposes of the demonstration, I'm using Google Chrome as my browser. You'll notice the telltale tabs up on top here. So now I have 2 tabs open for my open windows in Chrome. I have the search results tab, which is the highlighted one. It's the lighter of the 2. And I have on my left side in the corner, I have my County Records Research main page tab. So if I want to return to my main page, I click that tab, and then I'm back at my search screen where we set up our search. If I want to go back to my search results, I just click that tab and I'm right back to my search results. Now, because this is a group of properties on their way to auction, my string to search is NTS, or Notice of Trustee Sale. My results are from 0 to 20 of 16 records. So I know that all 16 records are visible because it's less than 20. Now if my search results were greater than 20, below the map I have the option to show 40 or 60, show 20, 40, 60. So that's how I can bounce back and forth if I needed to show more records because my report results were greater. Now with the map up on top, notice I've got some green and red icons, and if I put my cursor over one of the icons on the map, it gives me an address. Okay, so in the address box, I have this address on Via La Jolla with a unit number, so this looks like a condo. Now if I move my cursor inside, notice that the address turns red, which means I could click on it and open that profile for this condo, unit 114 on Via La Jolla Drive. Now, so this property is a notice of sale record scheduled to go to auction on Friday at the El Cajon location. And if I scroll further down, here's the whole list, and that's that very same property right on the list. So notice every icon on the map matches an address below. You'll also notice that these are notice of sale records because again, that's what I picked for my search criteria. And notice that on the right-hand side, they all have the sale date for Friday. You'll also notice they all have a status column Now, let me point out here, a notice of sale in our system, which is the auction scheduled record, will always have a status option. Now, sometimes they say not available because we're not picking one up. Sometimes they'll say canceled. This one on Creek Hills Road in El Cajon, this is a house that's scheduled to go to auction, but the auction itself has been canceled. Okay, so this sale's not going to happen. Okay, and I can kind of see why. I show an estimated value here in this estimated value column is over $1 million, and I show that the lender is owed $699,000. So this house has about $300,000 in equity, actually a little bit more. So the homeowner probably got an offer from somebody like you or me to sell the property, or they were able to get the auction canceled because somebody opened an escrow. Okay, or they might have filed bankruptcy. There are a variety of reasons why an auction can be canceled, but since we picked up that canceled notification, we know this one will not go to sale on Friday. These others are still scheduled to go. So we have a total of 16 records, but 15 right now are scheduled to go to auction. Some of these will change in between now and Friday. So the very next record is on J Street in Chula Vista. This appears to be a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. This also might be a condo because there's no lot size and it's got a very small square footage. So I'm guessing that one might be a condo, and it's worth about $237,000. Now, the bank is owed about $123,000. So if you compare the two, there's about $113,000 difference. This property has equity. And notice our system picks up an auction equity column, and it shows that there is a difference between the value of $237,000 and the amount owed of $123,000. So there's a lot of equity in this condo here. So I would guess this one will not go to sale either, because somebody like you or me should get their thinking cap on and go make an offer on that property in Chula Vista. Okay? So let's say, for instance, that I'm interested in this property that's going to go to auction supposedly on Friday, and I want to be prepared to get notified about this property as the auction gets closer. Because if the lender opens the auction at about 125, then or so, I might be interested. Now, I'm going to click on the property address and open the profile, and we see our information. So what do we have? First of all, I see that Rose Hernandez is the property borrower. Notice the word trustor here. The trustor is the person who borrowed the money. Remember, we've got a property in foreclosure. Okay, so this property is in foreclosure, so there's a loan on it that's foreclosing on the property, and Rose is the person who borrowed the loan. She's the one who borrowed the money. She's also entitled to the house because we show her to be the owner. Okay, let's also learn a few more things about Rose. The mailing address for her property is the same address as the property itself. So Rose gets her mail here. This is her house. Okay, so Rose lives at the property. It looks like she borrowed in 2007 the $127,000 loan. This appears to be a refinance loan because it looks like Rose bought the property in 1999, in November of 1999. So in November of 1999, she bought her condo for $80,000. Okay, in 2007, also in November, she paid off whatever remained of that loan and borrowed $127,000. So our system is picking up the $127,000 as her current first. Now, if I was going to buy this house at auction, or condo, excuse me, if I was going to buy this condo at auction, I would make a call to title to verify that our researcher is right, because we've got a purchase date of 1999 and a loan date from 2007. So there's a gap there of about 8 years. So I would make sure that this is a first. It looks to me like it is. I'm guessing it is. I'm pretty certain of it. But if I was going to bid at the auction, I'd want to make sure. Now, if this house is really worth $237,000 and she only owes $123,000, my goodness, I'd make her an offer. But if I thought that she was going to let it go to auction, then I might be prepared to go to the auction. So I'm going to scroll further down, and this is a notice of sale record. So we have all of our auction details here. We show it set to go on Friday. That's her initial sale date, so it's never been postponed. This is her first sale date set to go. Okay, 250 East Main in El Cajon at 9 o'clock. Let's say I'm really excited about this property and I want to know more about it. So down below the auction details, I'm going to select the option to get emailed when the status changes. I can also do this with a text. I prefer email personally. So I'm going to check the status change option and I'm going to type in my email address. Okay, so what I've just done is I've selected the status change option. Now why'd I do that? I could pick the dropped opening bid, but I don't think they're going to drop the bid on this one because she owes about half the value of her house. So I don't think the bank, which is in this case Ditech, I don't think Ditech has to take a haircut on this one to sell it at auction. I think if they open this thing up at 123, going, gone, someone's going to buy it because this is in a good location. It's in the downtown area, walking distance from the beach, from Bayfront Park. This isn't a great spot. So I think if she lets this go, it's going, okay? And if I want to be ready, then I'm setting up my status change update. This will tell me if it gets canceled, if it gets postponed, or if the lender sets an opening bid. I think they'll set an opening bid. I think it's going to be about 125. Now, why do I say that? Because they set the auction back in March. Notice the list date's March. It's April now, so she's missed one more payment. So I think it's gone up a little bit. I think it's going to be about 125 at the auction. So I'm excited. I've selected my status change update. I've typed in my email and I'm going to hit submit. And now I'm going to be notified by email if this gets canceled or postponed, or if the lender sets an opening bid. Okay, now, but I want to follow this, so I also want to go up on top, and at the top of the profile is a save button. But now, if I hit it saved right now, it's going to save it to my general folder. I want to be more specific. Remember what I just created? I created my El Cajon folder. So I'm going to open up my drop-down menu, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the El Cajon auction. Okay, and then I'm going to hit my save button. And now I have just saved this property record to the El Cajon auction folder in my folders system. And if notice the save button's gone, I don't need to hit it again because I've already saved it. Now if I wanted to, since I've already saved this record, I could type in notes in this section. I can even drive by the property, take some pictures of the outside, and load them up to my system, to my property profile for this particular unit that I saved. Now notice also I've got a map function that I can use the wheel on my mouse. Now if I'm using a tablet or a cell phone, I can use these buttons here, but I like the wheel on my mouse. It gives me more control. Now if I zoom in, I can hit the bird's eye option and see the buildings. Okay, so we see what we got here. This is a cute little set of bungalow apartments, condos actually, with a pool. So it's not a bad little setup. You know, I could handle this. It's not a bad little setup. And I would be willing to buy this at the auction for about 130 grand. Okay, so I've saved my property profile in my system. I've also gone ahead and set up a notification function. Now let's do something different. I'm going to select the road view again, and I'm going to zoom out. Okay, so this is in the mid-Broadway district. Let's say that I really like this area. Okay, so let's say I really prefer this area and I want to be notified of any additional properties that pop up in this target area. There's the Chula Vista Center. There's Broadway Plaza right here. I bet you got a lot of very interesting areas. I wonder where I think there's a place called Horton Plaza that's around here somewhere. But let's say that I'm very interested in this particular area. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom out a little bit and see where this shows me. Now, notice the freeways. Here's the 54, here's the 805, here's the 5, there's the 905, and we see here's the San Diego Bay. So this is right at the southern edge of the San Diego Bay. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my main page, and I'm going to get rid of my search results because I want to focus on getting these other processes done. So I've got my property profile open with the map. I'm going to go back to my main page, County Records Research, and I'm going to scroll down. Remember I told you that we were going to look at the polygon. So now I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, Look at what I'm doing by zooming in. Remember what happened is I was looking at this area. Here's Chula Vista. Here's that little blue dot. And I'm just going to localize myself to this very same area. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Okay. So I'm looking at this very same area. There's L Street, right? And there's L Street. So she's right above L Street, below the 54. Okay. So right above L Street, but below the 54. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to make a box. And let's say I want to just include, I'm going to go down to Palm City here, and then I'm going to take it all the way up to the 54. Okay, so here's Palm. All right, so I'm going to use the coastline as part of my box. So I'm going to say, let's start here out in the ocean and take it down to this Palm. Follow Palm to Bear, and then Bear becomes Broadway, but I'm going to take from Bear, I'm going to go up to Orange and 4th, and I'm just going to follow 4th to L Street, and I'm going to keep following 4th all the way to the 54. Okay, and then I'm going to follow the 54 out to the ocean, and let's zoom out. Let's zoom out further. So see what I just did. I just created a polygon that is inclusive of that small area where her place was, but I've also included everything from the 54 all the way down to Palm. Now, can I make it a much smaller box? You bet. I could make it just wrap around that one target area if I wanted to, but I've decided that I want to cover this whole range. And now what I'm going to do is I've got a polygon that started here in the water, went down to Palm, came up to Orange, followed 4th, all the way to the 54, and then came back out into the ocean. Now I just want to connect these last two dots. That's always the hardest thing to do when you're putting a polygon together, is connect these last 2 points. That's why we have a button designed to do just that, called Close Polyshape. So if I hit Close Polyshape, I just finished off my little polygon. That's kind of, see how it's centered on the 5? But it's giving me this whole coastline area, but it's also going a few blocks in. So whatever property I pick, I'm walking distance from the beach. Okay, and I'm going to call this, what's a good name for this? Well, this is basically Chula Vista and Imperial Beach, but it's mainly Chula Vista. I'm going to call this my Chula Vista polygon. Okay, so watch what I'm going to do. I've got this selected. I'm going to go further up to the top to this category section because I'm going to save my report, and I want to save it based on that category. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to specify save this search right up here on top. And it's important that I check this. I've got one county selected, right? I've got San Diego County. Whenever you go to save a search, make sure you only have one zone selected up on top. Okay, it's very important because I'm going to set up an automated researcher that's going to pull records for me from now on in this target polygon here in Chula Vista. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the save this search option and watch what happens. Now, what the system just did is it went up here and it memorized San Diego County, it memorized upcoming sales, and it memorized the polygon shape. Now, don't worry about the dates or the sale location, because whenever we do a search, the system is going to want to look for all the records in my target area based on the polygon and the county zone. Okay, so now, but also based on the fact that it's an upcoming sale. And now, once I save this search, once it's saved, the date ranges will change as time goes by. There are searches that I saved 5 years ago that I can still use. Okay, so don't worry about the dates when we save a search. It's very important that you don't worry about that. So I'm going to call this my Chula Vista and it's notices of sale, right? It's upcoming sales, so I'm going to call it NTS. And then because that's in capitals, I'm going to write Polygon in small letters. Okay, so this is my Chula Vista NTS Polygon. And then I'm going to hit the Save button. And what did the system just do? The system just memorized that saved search and dropped it into my searches folder. And if I scroll all the way down, the most recent search I just saved is there, and there's my Chula Vista NTS Polygon. So this is the polygon that I just saved for Chula Vista. Okay, so now I just clicked on that polygon title, and it picked San Diego County. It picked an upcoming date range, upcoming sales, and if I scroll further down, there's my little polygon that I just saved. Now, just to show you how well that works, I'm going to go back to my searches, and I'm going to show you a polygon that I saved from before. This is my Fountain Valley polygon for Orange County. So notice Orange County is selected, upcoming sales, and if I scroll down, this is my Fountain Valley polygon in Orange County. So Fountain Valley right above Huntington Beach. Okay, so that's my Fountain Valley polygon. Let me go back to my searches. Let's pick my Palm Springs polygon. Now this is Riverside County. This was notices of default, and on this one I specified when I set it up 3-bedroom, 2-bath and above. And if I scroll further down, that's my Palm Springs polygon. Notice how it wraps around Palm Springs and North Palm Springs and Whitewater and some of Cathedral City. So that's my Palm Springs polygon. So now going right back to my searches, I can go ahead and I can select my Chula Vista polygon again. And there's our Chula Vista polygon, right? Okay, now watch what I do. I've got it all saved as a notice, as an upcoming sale polygon. What if I decide I want to make offers in the same area, and I want to make offers to people who have notice as a default as well? Now, don't undersell your ability to make offers to people who have a notice of trustee sale, but remember the notice as a default are perfectly good candidates to make offers to buy their properties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change from upcoming sales to notice as a default. Now notice the date range changed. Don't worry about it. Okay, we're going to set up a saved search. We don't want to worry about it. Now, I've got my polygon down here. I've got San Diego County 1 zone selected. I've got notice as a default instead of upcoming sales, and I'm going to hit save this search. Now, what did the system just do? Just went up and memorized San Diego, memorized notice as a default, memorized this polygon, and it gave me another little window. So I'm going to call this my Chula Vista NOD now, because I'm changing it to notice as a default, right? And then polygon. Okay, and then I'm going to hit save again. Now look at what just happened. I just created an NTS polygon using the one shape, and then I changed it to an NOD polygon by changing it to notice as a default, and then re-saving that same search. Now I've got two different searches that I've activated, or actually that I've created. I haven't activated them yet. Notice that in the right hand side I've got an option to activate notifications. So I'm going to hit that for the NTS search. Now it's highlighted in blue, isn't it? That means that I've activated my search function to automatically notify me of any new notices of sale that pop up in that area. Okay, now I'm going to activate the NOD records. Okay, now I've just automated two artificial intelligence researchers that now go into this polygon every day when new records pop up, and they look for notices of sale, and they look for notices of default. Now, I could have been very specific. I could have said 3-bedroom and 2-bath and above. I could say multifamily by using use code apartment. For instance, if I went in here and I specified use code, now notice right under the dates, property use, any type, I could select apartment if I want multifamilies only. I could select condo townhouse if I only want condos like the one that we were looking at. Okay, now once I select anything in the property use section like apartment, then I get a subcategory below where I could specify I only want 5 and above. okay? Or I can specify duplexes or fourplexes or triplexes. Now, I am a firm believer that less is more, ladies and gentlemen, and I can tell you this, if I'm going to put a search together, I am not going to fill in all the blanks, okay? Because what if there's a deal on a fourplex and I miss it because I only pick 5 and above? Okay, I don't want to miss that deal because I've got too specific. Now, on the other hand, if I'm working with clients and that client says, oh, if you bring me a fourplex, I'm never calling you again. Well, then I'm going to pick 5 and above because I'm going to try and make sure I'm satisfying that person's needs. But if I'm an investor and I'm searching on my own behalf, my focus is to find the best opportunity for myself so that I can put that deal together effectively, whether I'm bidding at the auction or making an offer to the owner or trying to buy a note from the lender. So I can pick property use if I want to. I can be highly specific or not so specific. If I change my mind, I can click on that little check mark and get rid of that specification. Okay. If I want to go to my saved searches and open up a saved search, I can do so, okay? If I want to go to my saved properties, I can click on my properties. Remember that we just saved that property that was in the Chula Vista area on J Street. There's the property that I saved right there. If I want to just limit myself to my El Cajon auction folder, I can click on it and there's my Chula Vista property. If I want to check my email notification records to find that note that I put to myself, then I can find this property in Chula Vista is right there, set it for my email notification. And when I want to update any of this information, I can simply delete records by checking on boxes and hitting the delete button. But notice when I try to do that, the system is always going to ask me, are you sure that you want to delete that record? Because obviously I don't want to delete the record by mistake. And if I was wrong to click that box, I'm going to click cancel and I'm going to go there and I'm going to uncheck it because I'm interested in this property on J Street in Chula Vista. This one's got over 100K in equity, and if somebody else don't buy it, maybe I should, but maybe you should. Maybe you should use the site, research more properties like this one, and be ready when the time comes to get your next deal. This has been Bob with County Records Research. Thank you so much for joining us for our Wednesday presentation. Join us again on Friday when we're going to be looking at some more property information and learn more about how you can find that deal and make it happen.